Good day everybody, and welcome to Kampala Road. It has been a uninspiring 2 weeks here at the layout, with a couple of problems and one that has been fixed, so let's get into it. Just watching my 23-year-old Bachmann Class 37. Wrong shape, wrong colour, no lights, runs perfectly. Okay, so after my last video I decided to open this one, my first Accurascale Class 37. First Accurascale Loco full stop. And it didn't all go to plan. Now, having been out of the model railway scene for a while, I was not aware these Locos had a problem, but I soon found out. I was going to do an unboxing type thing, not the genuine unboxing, but a sort of look-see. I did open it, decided against that, and ran it half an hour each way. In fact, longer than that. I tend to just leave it and then reverse run it for an hour or so each way as a run-in, which was fine. There was no problems at that stage. So after the run-in, I decided to run it with a train, this one here. Thought it was appropriate for that sort of livery, 60s, heading towards the 70s. And that's when the problem started to manifest itself. I noticed that the Loco was surging and running at inconsistent speeds. I wasn't aware there was a problem with the motors on these Locos. In all honesty, I was very surprised. I certainly hadn't expected this from Accurascale. So the sequence of events was, I realised there was a problem evening time, my time, and thought, well, I better email. Do I email where I got it from, or do I email Accurascale? And I decided to go with Accurascale. So I aimed the email to arrive in the UK around about 8:30 in the morning. Credit to Accurascale, they replied within an hour. A chap called Simon. Are you allowed to call chaps these days? Anyway, I'm fed up with all that. It's a chap. He emailed me and basically asked for the receipt and a video of what the problem was. Now, I'm hopeless at keeping receipts, so there was a slight panic in my camp of where the receipt was, but I managed to find it. One thing it told me was I hadn't realised how long it had been sitting here. Hattons. And the date is the 16th of the 11th, 23, so it's just over a year old. But I felt confident because of the lifetime warranty, plus being new, I was hopeful that they would be sympathetic. This gives you an idea of the pricing, just as a side, and I'm going to do a video on buying from overseas and what to look out for. Australia is different from other countries because they have implemented a tax, believe it or not, on overseas imports. But as you can see, I think this was list priced at $269, without VAT, $216, and by the time it got to me with recorded mail, it was $245 landed cost. Okay, so there was a sequence of emails. Backwards and forwards. I sent the receipt. I didn't do a video. I said it's not working. And what actually happened, before I could video anything, actually, the Loco just stalled and stopped, and that was it. The sound does work, and it goes through the motions of if it was accelerating, but it just doesn't work. And I also noticed it was shorting out the whole layout. Hence, it's sitting on the board there and not on the track. It's a beautiful looking Loco. I'm not sure about the colour of that yellow, but great looking Loco. But I have to say, I mean, that 24 going past is also very old, no lights, etc. Works beautifully and smoothly. Are we getting too complex? Anyway, sequence of events on the emails was it went backwards and forwards. I said I wasn't sending an email video, it wasn't worth it. They came back to me and said, can you send it back? And where do you live? I said, Brisbane, Australia. Then a one-liner came back. Do you own a soldering iron or screwdriver? So you can guess what's coming. I was not asked am I competent enough to do it? So I replied yes, and the next message came back, we're going to send you a motor. So this is my lifetime warranty. I'm in action here. And I have been made aware, just an aside, that other larger YouTubers have had problems and had hand-delivered replacement locos. So Accurascale, whoever you are out there, I'm happy to meet you in Kampala in Uganda. That'll be an eye-opener for you. Cheaper to fly to Uganda than it is Australia too. Wobbly cam again. So I am now waiting a motor for a brand new Accurascale Loco, my first Loco. I have two other unopened Accurascale Locos. I better open them, I guess. As I said earlier, this is my 23-year-old Bachmann. It's followed me around the world. I reckon this Loco's got more miles on it than most of the real ones. I relegated her to track cleaning duties, but maybe it'll get promoted again and the Accurascale Loco will be on track cleaning duties in the future. The other issue I was having with this Loco was it was derailing everywhere. And I think I'm over most of it. The back-to-backs are very tight, very, very tight. So I've readjusted those during the running in period. And end number 2, if it's running end number 2, it's fine. If it's running end number 1, which we're looking at the moment, it still derails on certain corners. No other Loco does, so I'm assuming it's a Loco problem. So I'll have to detail end number 2 and live with it, I guess. I'm not too concerned about that. The other issue I had was with this Bachmann Loco. It was struggling and stalling in indiscriminate ways. Anywhere on the layout. Excuse the wobbly cam. Unusual for a Bachmann Loco, they're normally pretty good. And I love this, I've begun learning to love this Loco. It's the second generation, I believe, Bachmann 37. I looked it up and I realised I had a GaugeMaster 21-pin decoder inside. And I have distant memories from before COVID that GaugeMaster 21 pins were having problems with certain Locos. So I pulled it out and put a Connect Rails of Sheffield decoder in. And as you can see, problem solved. Beautifully slow, as you expect from Bachmann. These Locos do remind me of the pretty worn out looking specimens coming out of Liverpool Street. It's pre-weathered by the factory, but I think I might try the Jerry Allen Special and get to town on it with some weathering powders and other stuff. Great Loco. After my unopened video, the Locos I've not opened, pretty slack, I agree. I got 2 messages, one from Kev, and thank you Kev, he's been a long time subscriber and commenter. I think Medway Model Railways, sorry Kevin if I've forgotten that. And a chap called Paul, who also was pleased to see me back. They warned me that this bubble car, 121122, may have problems. Now I've not looked at it, this is the first time I'm opening the box, and we'll see. And apparently the drive shafts dissolve in the grease or something. I mean, what were they thinking? So let's have a look. I can't believe what they're saying, but we'll have a look. I think this is BR Blue. Can't remember. What does it say? It says tested. It does say tested. Now that's normally Rails of Sheffield who put that on. So it obviously worked. So hopefully, Network South East. They used to run between Bishop Stortford and Liverpool the electric EMUs, Network South East, as a young train spotter. I'm talking about my age between 10 and 16, sorry. I didn't like the Network South East livery, partly because it looked so bad when it was dirty. Okay, let me get this out and let's put it on the track. It's analog and I have an analog line, so let's give it a go. Right, we're about to be photoshopped by the 24, but we'll get that past. She's on the rails, she's on the analog side. I have the Gauge Master, what's it called? Combi. And over here. 3, 2, 1. Nothing. Ah. The motor is spinning. Oh dear. I'm going to put the microphone next to the Loco. Hopefully you can hear it spinning. And turn the power up. Got lights. Alright, well that's enough of that. So, I'm not sure of the problem. From what I read from Kev, I believe it's something to do with the drive shafts. Melt. Unbelievable. Email to Dapol, I think. And I better find the receipt, I guess. That'll be the biggest challenge. In summary, a bit disappointed, but such is life. I have a different view on these things to a lot of people. It's small compared to problems other people have in this world. So, I'll close on that story for this fortnight and leave you a couple of running shots. Obviously when the motor arrives I will pull that apart and probably do a video on it. I will do a video on buying from overseas just to show you what we get up to as people who don't have to pay VAT. Look at that, so smooth. Must be, what, 15 years old? Just goes. You can't knock Bachmann, can you, apart from their pricing policy. And on that note, I'll say goodbye from Kampala Road. Cheers for now.